What's up? What's up? Everybody, hear me. Please give me a thumb. Working on some things to get fixed, to add them onto the stream. Tell me if you can hear me. I'm using a completely different headphone and mic, as you can see. Check 1, 2, 2. Everybody hear me. A little too energetic for late night chat. KL, what's up? Rhino Quinn, how are you, my friend? Let's go. Mr. McCowan, how are you? Marco Ibra. Oh, Gorilla Grodd is in the house too. Look at that. Let the bodies hit the floor. I know that song. Crazy ass song, huh? It might start hitting the floor. Hell yeah. Let's go. I know I'm not the only one that's hyped. AK, what's up? As long as you put a 47 in there, AK, we're good. I'm just messing with you. What's up, Marco? How we doing? How we doing? How's your night/morning going? I was like, let's do this, right, and see if people got any questions, something other than just questions. Maybe we could shoot the shit, talk about what happened these next couple days, start tomorrow. Very excited. Happening. Might look some things up. AK likes what I'm talking about, what I referred to. 108 here today. I'm just roasting. Good. You need it, Mr. Warren. Who else is? We got Jeffrey, Roca. No, Jeffrey. He's in Phoenix, so you can only imagine he's probably like completely, roasted all over the place. So everybody calls you AK-47. Hell yeah. Can everybody hear me perfect? Tell me. That we don't have to go and start fixing the mic and all that, hopefully, because I went through it. There's a few things that I wanted to fix, but it's not happening. Cashman, how are you? Cashman is like, I thought we were hot. Hell yeah, Grod. Really, Grod, are you at work? You said, oh, on your end, Brian, there's some lag? Hell yeah. Warren, you got free 10. No complaining. Man. Enzo, what it do? How are you doing, my good friend? You're having a great night. Morning. Okay, well, my apologies, Mr. Marco, aka Marco Ibarra. Marco, I think I told you the story before. I had a friend. Her name was Jasmine. I don't know if you're by Mexican descent. She was. She's pretty cool. I don't know if y'all related. Yeah. Let's see. The Great Stunner. Number one stunner. How are you doing, sir? Hopefully you're having a great morning as well. All right. The gorilla is off, and hopefully he's not trying any of his telepathy. Oh. Gorilla Grodd says go and buy AMC. That's not AB speaking. That's Gorilla Grodd speaking. Just Glad you're doing great, Hanzo. Let's see. You guys want to talk about? You guys want to expect? Where's the questions? Come on. I might even have a guest tonight. Trying out some things to try to see if it works. Streamlabs, I'm still saying. Ghetto AV for you. Um, but no, we're gonna see what happens. Like questions. I'm here if I know about you. Oh man, Gorilla Grodd is at it. LA. Do you know anyone who is speaking in the hearing? Personally, not. No, I don't know anybody personally in the hearing, but I know of. Robert is one of Green. I've heard of this is that chick that CSI is talking about. No, or he's something like that. So I don't know anybody in there, but I know of a couple. Who's gonna be tuning in tomorrow? Whole thing for the whole thing. You are gonna be tuned in for the whole thing. Put a thumbs up in the chat. If you're gonna be tuned in all day, then we could get to the anybody wants to particularly watch any. If you don't know, by the way, if you're in the live chat and you what times or what's happening, where to go, community tab, I've actually uploaded a link, two links. One of them speaks about it's the numbers you could call. It's about like 5 numbers you could call, guys, and then you go on there, and then that number there, no one can obviously record or whatever they say. At least that's how you could do it. The second link that you could actually go and you per minutes or hour, the schedule of who's going to be speaking. So yeah, want to know any of that? If you're in the live right now and you're like you don't know what's happening, you can make sure to click on those links so you can go ahead and call and listen throughout the day. Remember, it's a 2-day hearing. Friday, the ultimate day where we would hear from the judge exactly what the Zern is going to be deciding to do. AK, your audio is going in and out. Okay, thanks for letting me know. That's good. Let's see. Let's see how we can tune that in. How we're in here together. It's going to help AB. Boom. Let's see. I'm limiting all of it out. This. How about now? Is it oh, actually I'll keep speaking. Is it better now? Actually, hold on. I need to gain one more thing, which is gain, which makes it louder so that I don't have to yell it out. Did I hurt anybody's eardrums with that? All right. Tell me, how about now? Is it better now? Bro Cape, what's up? Bro Cape is in the house. Hell yeah. And by the way, if that even is not good enough, if it's not good enough, then I could go ahead and uh, upload a different microphone. Just all I have to do is plug it in. Brian says, bingo, don't touch it. All right. No touching. Okay, AK-47 agrees. Hell yeah. Let's do this. Let's go. Uh-oh. Marco is saying he's killing my eardrum. I got you. I got you, Marco. This is why we're fixing it together. Watch this. This should help, Marco. How about now? Is it better now? It should be right now better. I've actually got it limited down. Let's see. PV, what's up, my friend? Educate us, brother. Oh, I got you, Warren. There's no educating. That's we're all gonna have fun tonight. We could go look at certain things too. Bro cooking isn't easy. Been trying to perfect my skills on the stove. I don't think I'm doing bad. Too bad potatoes, baked rubbed with olive oil, not wrapped in foil, is much better. Dude, you just made me hungry. Thanks, Grod. Way to go. McCohen, is it bad again now? Touche to that, Brian. Technology could definitely be your worst friend or your worst enemy or your best friend. Did I say worst friend and worst enemy? Skynet. Let's see. So tell me, guys, in the chat, what do you guys think is what are you guys anticipating to happen tomorrow? There's Jeffrey. Jeffrey, what was the temperature down in Phoenix today? Very good. Very good. What do you guys are gonna happen? What do you guys think is gonna happen tomorrow and then Friday? What do you guys expect? What do you guys anticipate? I want to hear some theories. Come on, where's all my theorists? Where's all my yes voters? Where's all my no voters? Where's all my I'm afraid of my own shadow people? Where's everybody? Come on, put in the theories. I want to hear some theories and go over them. Let me hear. Let me read what you're talking about. Like I said, I might have a guest over too to see how it works out. Jeffrey, welcome to Mr. McCohen's life. He's also was at 108 degrees. Andrew, what's up, my friend? How are you? Brian, I don't expect a lot of boring talk and no action. You know what? I can see that happening. I think you know what? I'll wait. I'll listen to everybody and then I'll say what I think. Um, let's see. Andrew's expecting crime. Man, don't you just love our system, people? Family, don't you love our justice system? Don't you love our SCC, our beloved DOJ? Can't you like that statement right there alone that Andrew have said as far as when you expect the worst out of who you're supposed to automatically expect the best from, that's exactly where the problem in humanity is. That's the problem with our world. Um, but sadly, I agree with all that too, and I'm gonna say I agree with that, and I think I expect that as well to happen. But there's a few more things that I also anticipate or expect to happen. I'm gonna tell you what they are. As soon as I see what everybody is typing, Gorilla Grodd doesn't expect anything to happen this week. It should be crazy next week. Okay, okay, I can see that happening. Elizabeth W. Prepared for the worst, hoping for the best. That's the way to be in life. Elizabeth, you must have a really, really, really And again, I hope that I'm not guessing here wrong, but you must have a very good understanding on the way to live life. Perhaps through many experiences and perhaps through many lessons that you had to learn. If I'm wrong, give me a thumbs down. If I'm right, give me a thumbs up. If you want to be nice and you don't want to show it, just don't. Yeah, Bro Cave, I think the judge is going to say, let them have their MOAS, you damn crooks. Bro Cave, this is the reason probably why you came up with that nickname as far as Bro Cave. I'm just kidding, Bro Cave. Expecting the best out of a system, and that's the way to be in life. Give them the best benefit of the doubt. I mean, again, you have to be in great spirits. If you put out positivity, you only attract positivity in return. And I honestly, I'll be honest with you here, Rich Ape, not Broke Ape, Rich Ape, you just still don't know it yet. Keep telling you that. I think that there is some validity to that. And some part of me is telling me that something like that actually might go down or happen. Now, as far as the MOAS, I don't know. But as far as like how they will handle, how the judge would like to handle this, uh, reverse split slash conversion, I think is going to be very surprising. I actually do. Darren, what's up, my friend? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Gorilla Grodd, think the judge sees the complaint sent in as an annoyance. And you know what? I agree with that, Gorilla Grodd. Whether whether that should be a bad thing for us or a good thing, I would hope that does not play a role because if you're gonna be holding yourself to the utmost or the highest of values and to the extent of the law, then you shouldn't have any sort of biased, opinion just or judgment. Just because you're annoyed of something, then you're going to screw them up on the case unconstitutionally, or be more lenient toward the other side just because you're annoyed by this side or doing something. I would hope that it doesn't work that way. And I know that most people that were sending in letters, maybe some were just sending inquiries or just saying, sending a letter just to send a letter. But I know a lot that actually put their heart out because they absolutely believe that the whole matter is terrible for retail investors in AMC. And I unfortunately wasn't able to send no letter. I was busy with health situations. I had a lot of things going on. However, I do wholeheartedly support all the ones that actually put all they have and all their heart into something that they totally believe in. Who am I to come back and say like, it was a bad thing? No, I just hope that since they put what they personally think is best, because at the end of the day, it affects their money just as much as it affects mine, and they have the right to be heard. And I would expect every judge and a special master to take all of that into consideration and honestly still rule with justice no matter what at the end. You know, hopefully we didn't upset the judge too much to the point where it's like, no, screw ya. You know what? Here, Kenny G, what do you want, man? Let's see. Jeffrey says, I feel like it's going to be another burger. Judge Zern will slap retail face by saying the complaints were the reverse split and not settlement. Hmm. I see. I see. Hmm. Marco, I expect nothing but wishing good. Things soon. Staying positive, brother. You know what, guys? I'm going to tell you guys a few things now. As soon as I read a couple of these comments, still. Um, Marco hopes the judge does the right thing. That's a very broad answer, Marco. What is the right thing? That's like when people tell you, do the right thing, man. Do the right thing. What is the right thing? The right thing to some is different than the right thing for someone else. And I'm just messing with you here, Marco. You don't have to, you don't have to feel like you're on the spot to share what you think is the right thing. At the end of the day, this is the family here. I treat everybody as family, and you guys all treat me as family. So that's why I love all of you guys, and I hope the feeling is mutual. I think the feeling is mutual. Nobody is misunderstood in here, unless you come in on some hot girls, blah 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 blah. You know those links. They come in with all these weird links and cussing people out or saying some stupid, demeaningful stuff. Then you're out of here. Besides that, everybody has the right to say whatever they want to say, and I know it's all coming from a place of love. Andrew says the judge should just say, "Let's give these wonderful people 5,000 a share, and we can all move on with our lives." You know what, Andrew? I how come they didn't choose you to be the chancellor for this case? You know what? Now I'm wondering. There must be some corruption. It's all Kenny Griffin's fault. I promise. It's Kenny Griffin. It's Kenny G's fault. He he put he put Zern, Judge Zern, instead of Andrew Franceschi. Jeffrey, but weren't there only 5,000 complaints with 3.8 million shareholders? Judge Zern will say there is not enough for a unanimous consensus. You know what? I see that. I see that. I'm hearing Mayo Boy trying to take over the bonds market now. Yeah, he's not only taking over the bonds market, but see, here's the one thing you guys have to all remember. Um, you got the kings or the ultimate big dogs on top, and the big dogs, in my humble opinion, are BlackRock. And but the reason why you don't see a lot of BlackRock, like you hear about it when we talk about it. Those of you who've been in it's only we know about BlackRock because we've been in this movement for the past 3 years. But by the way, I agree with that, Gorilla Grodd. Um, but you got to remember the reason why you don't see them on mainstream media unless you're actually actively going out of your way to look for BlackRock is because BlackRock literally controls mainstream media. When you think about BlackRock, what they own, and here's I'll give you a quick list, just a quick list to round up your thoughts. You got BlackRock owning like 10 or 12% of Fox. They own like over 10% in CNN. They own over 10% in MSNBC. They own more than like 11% in CBS. They own over 12% in Disney even. These guys, by having an insider level in any corporation out there, whenever any of these media moguls make any decision or want to go by a press or say something or create a story and go by it, believe it or not, they have to run it by BlackRock first because of their stake ownership in that particular stock or that company. And that's the way they did it. And their guy, Larry Fink, he did believe all that. Like, believe it or not, like his story is crazy. The fact that he did all that just in about 34 years, back when he did it in the 80s, believe it or not, BlackRock, every time there is a market crash, you know how we all are always saying, crash the market so we could get our MOAS. Like, believe it or not, BlackRock loves market crashes because that's when they come up. They did it in the 90s. They did it in the dot-com bubble in 2001. They also did that in 2008. In fact, in 2008 is when they brought, literally, like the Federal Reserve brought Larry Fink and actually gave him a seat on the table to try to resolve what's happening with 2008. And they gave him control over all the bank's assets and how they could be traded and managed. So he was managing almost all the bank's assets and derivatives just so that they can make sure, like, they trust what he's going to do with it. And that was literally, like, that was their point. They wanted this. You could just about say that they manipulate the system globally on a global scale to try to actually make it work in their favor. In other words, the people who technically came out with the ETF system was actually none other than BlackRock. And you got Vanguard, who BlackRock also owns a very nice chunk in, and they both use the same methods about going about things. How can you, and this is how way they go about it, how can I have a hand in on anything or into anything out there, doesn't matter where on this planet, without having to expose myself only to that one thing? And that's what the ETF is by having a basket that invests or have exposure to a basket of stocks or companies. And whatever money you put in there as an investor, it gets you exposure to all these stocks, but not just direct exposure to one, which limits your risk. And that's what they basically love about all that. Hold on, let me not continue because there's more. I could go on and on and on with that. Like I can actually give you guys. If you guys want to know, you can put in the comments and let me know. If you want me to tell you why it's actually good for BlackRock to have the housing market crash, and in the same time, why are they causing such thing to happen? I would be more than happy to tell everybody. Um, let's see. Gorilla Grodd is saying, but the judge is clearly biased. And in my opinion, sees the letters sent in as people who don't know anything about the markets. This is a courtroom that sees so many cases in securities. That is very true. And in the same time, that's the very same court that perhaps even seen Mr. Adam Aaron quite a few times. So I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? The reaction is like, hey, weren't you just in here like a few months ago or like last year or some shit? I can't remember when that happened, but I know that they know the guy. Um, but the crazy part is that the people who are representing Adam Aaron and AMC in this thing are the people that a few of the chancellors on like a few of Judge Zern's friends were actually directors in that same law firm, which is really, I made a live. The last live I had was really, I did that live based on and covering that stuff, and I don't know, it didn't kind of sit well with me because if I'm gonna have a shot at justice, I would like it to be even, like both sides. It doesn't matter what my bias opinion is. It just I want both sides to have equal access to justice. I don't want it to be a fixed kind of thing, if that makes any sense. And again, I'm very happy with either of the outcomes because honestly, I've prepared myself for both outcomes that happen, whether it's approved with the same rate or current rate that they have it for. With the every 7.5 for common shares, you get one. Whether it's that or not, I've prepared myself for the no, and I prepared myself for the yes. And as far as what, if people want to know, also ask me. I'll be more than happy to share in what way I would go about it in either case. I'll be more than happy to share. But again, I'm not a financial advisor, so I just speak about what I'm gonna do. Let's see. What do we got here? AB, I thought this was only to give guidance on the settlement, but MSM is pushing it. Uh, is retail fighting retail over reverse and conversion? Yes, unfortunately, Jeffrey, that's what. Um, okay, I've said this before, and I know that the shorts would love for that case to happen, and it's been happening, right? But my situation is put these shorts on one end. You already know they want the worst for us. So put the shorts and the shills that they hire and blah 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 on the side. I'm talking about our CEO of the company. My issue with a true leader, and I said this a few times, and I want it to stick with many people, hopefully, so they would know my situation here, or where I'm coming from. A true leader of a clan, you could call us a clan or a movement or however way you want to refer to us as. A true leader, once he sees that a good amount of people numbers of his own clan or family are against what he's issuing, he would go out of his way to clear the air with all these people. And I think that the best way to do that is just like if I was to refer to myself as when in my own restaurants. I have a restaurant and I have a bunch of employees. Not that we all work for AMC. It's a different kind of example, but it almost feels like it. And some if a certain like a few out of let's say 100 employees, if like whatever 20, 30, 50, or 20 employees feel some type of way about AB or what AB in what direction he's moving the company in, yes, the restaurant and the company is mine. However, these opinions should like they're not just speaking out of nothing, out of thin air. So therefore there's something that is bothering them. And if I am a true leader, I will go and out of my way to link up with these people by any means not necessary. I mean, he did a trade interviews a couple times. You know, he could go out of his way to show these people that what you are saying is wrong and you don't understand this, and explain to me how I don't understand this. Don't let other people within the community try to become the educators on this matter, and now it helps create that division because one sees themselves higher than the other, one thinks they know more than the other, one starts thinking that this one is a shill, the other one doesn't. We don't have a democratic, or not a democratic, a democracy in our movement. It's more like what I say, and if you ain't with it, then you're the shill. And I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. You know, we should all be as one family because, again, I've said this many times before. Whether yes or no, we both need each other as much as to each other, like we need each other as just as much. Because if I'm not holding, and if everybody on this side sells, this side hurts. And if everybody on this side sells, then this side hurts. We're one body, and nobody that I know can survive without his vital organs. And we're all part of one body. And I think we all, unfortunately, it's kind of coming down to the wire now. But in my humble opinion, that's where I feel like the CEO really crucially screwed up by not actually stepping in and making sure that everybody kind of collides together, get back together on the same page. Instead, I feel like it's been he went on a tirade of labeling the no voters as shills, naysayers, and he knows that those are people from the community. So that makes me question one, his motives, two, his leadership for sure, and three, why after 3 years of hyping all these people up, now you are technically just straying away. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even follow his Twitter account anymore to see what he says. Like, I follow him on Twitter, but I'm not even on there to see if he's saying something. You guys can tell me in the chat here. Is he still talking like the good old Adam Aaron that we knew? As in like, oh yes, vote this, vote that, and doing all that. I think he most likely just kind of like brushed it in the past, and now it's just the wheel is moving forward. You know, I don't. Hopefully, you guys understood where I'm coming from or what I mean by this. I want my leader in whatever I do to show that he cares about every single person that follows him. Every single person. And obviously, when I'm talking about millions of investors, not personally saying come hold my hand or hold their hand or her hand or whatever, but address, since it's only two groups now, that division's got to go away. Since retail investor came and saved AMC. Without us, there's no AMC today. And he says it. I'm quoting him right here, right now. And since there's no AMC without us, then each single person in this whole movement freaking matters. And since there's been a division to two sides, then he needs to go out of his way to make sure that he could glue the community back together. And it can be done much better than just a Twitter tweet and that says people want to do us harm, people want to do us this, people want to do us like that, and the naysayers. Because technically, to me, that shows me that you're just trying to dim my voice out, or to anybody who speaks out against this, he's dimming their voice out. And again, I'm not gonna sit here and say he's stole from me and do all this, because I don't speak something like that unless I can exactly show it. Yeah, people can say all that he took from Antera. Like one of my biggest problems with the yes and the no. And you know what? You guys remind me about this after I read the chats, because I don't want to just go on a long tirade on that. But make sure you guys remind me, what do I feel about, how do I feel about ape? Okay, and why does it have in like such a thing to me? And I'll tell you guys what I'm thinking. Like, you guys will see. Just tell me in the chat once I go through these. Maybe the last chat I'll leave, I'll see or read. Maybe that last chat can be, so AB, tell us about ape, and hopefully I remember. Hopefully I don't forget. Shirley, what's up, my friend? How are you doing? Welcome in here. And who else do we have here? I thought KYP crossed my attention. Thought I seen you in here. Let's see. Indeed, Hanzo, it's an empire of bad cries. Actors. Hell yeah. Everything you're saying is so much deeper. All the big brands, institutions, and companies are owned by a handful of institutions who set the narrative for these companies to follow X ESG scores. And that's the crazy thing, Gorilla Grodd. Speaking of ESG scores, 100%. That's, for those of you who don't know, it's like it has a lot to do with like your, and this is where the conspiracy AB jumps in. Let me make sure I switch the face first. So ESG basically stands for, in a long term, in a long run, turn you into a socialist way of thinking. And that's been a thing that they've been trying to do to this great nation and to our people of the United States of America for many years. Maybe this might get AB or shorted the stream for, but they don't like to hear stuff like this. The ESG scores is like, basically they're enhancing the investments in you, or people wanting to invest in you, or companies investing in you based on your socialist, again, ESG, the socialist, and I forgot what else stands for, is like the economic socialist. You can help me here, Gorilla Grodd, for exactly the terms that it stands for, but I know that S stands for the socialist or social, bias. So if you support this, the woke, that's what literally started the woke agenda. If you support this, okay, we'll give you a good ESG score. And now a bunch of these companies could invest in you because you have a higher score rating and all that stuff. Spot on, Gorilla Grodd. Lazy Bones, Ape Man, what's up, my friend? How are you? I love the name. Khabib the Goat 10, he is my goat. Let's go, AB. AB's live was up AMC. This all makes so much sense and so easy to follow. Thanks, AB, you the man. Well, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you, brother. Hopefully you were having fun with all these technicals that we were showing before in the previous lives. There's a lot more to come. And there's many things that we could talk. You guys know AB is always going to give it to you. I was going to say something and it would have sounded wrong, but AB is always going to give it to you real. It's going to give it to you whatever is here and whatever is here, right underneath my left titty. You know what's there. That's cheesy, I know. That's exactly what you're going to get. You're not going to get any sugar-coated stuff. I'll say it and I'll stand by it. You like it. I hope you know, if you don't agree with it or like it, that what I'm saying is coming straight out of love and good intent, to the best of my knowledge and my ability. So please, no cancel culture or yet even woke culture in this zone. Please, as much as possible. Right, Shirley? Let's see. Yeah, I knew I spotted KYP. KYP, how are you doing, my friend? Let's see. What else we got? Andrew, win taco truck. Yeah, I've been waiting. Let's see. What else do we got? Cost to borrow is a yearly fee or until positions are closed. 100%. Cost to borrow gets my so damn jacked, knowing these crooks are getting drained for millions monthly just to borrow short and distort the stock we love. 1000%. Like, to be a true ape, you definitely gotta love that. Everybody's praying tonight. In fact, tonight, tomorrow, and the day after. No, tonight and tomorrow, yeah. Because it's officially Thursday. So yeah, we all praying, Shirley, for Judge Zern to make our life or dreams come true for sure. Bonjour, bonjour, my friend. How are you doing, my friend? Hopefully all is good. AK-47, and yes, he called us conspiracy theorists as well, for sure. Now we're conspiracy theorists. Where's... Oh, there we go. Owning the float. Owning the float. Jump on, bro. Jump on. You got the email. Hopefully you got it, the link on your email. Did you get the link in your email? Unless unless you got, some cold feet, and I don't know you as such. That's my brother right there, people. Show some love. Show some love. AB's always gonna give it to you, real deal. Jeffrey, for some odd reason, out of everybody, I swear I knew. I had in the back of my head that you were gonna be the one that's gonna turn it into something funny. I swear, something dirty, something. How about those Reds? We were anticipated to be terrible, terrible. We had the lowest attendance in the beginning of the season, and now look where we at. Talk about conspiracy theorists. Uh-oh. He's also gonna throw on a red hat and a black shirt. You throw him on and come up, bro. Let's try it. Hopefully you don't hear an echo this time. Hell yeah. I think this headphone and this mic would change that. Now I'm no longer speaking directly into a microphone. I don't know if this was a come up or I don't know until we try it. Let's see. I feel we turned AA hands with the first vote for 25 million dilution. Now look, he snuck in his 25 million plus 8, blah blah blah, plus so proud back then. Okay, so broke ape. I'll put right there. I'll say why do I feel some type of way about ape? Okay, about this case of the convergent and reverse split, because it's a matter of fairness to me. Okay, guys. And I hope you can everybody can open up their minds and hearts to see exactly what I'm trying to say here, exactly where I'm coming from. I don't have any particular hard feelings or harm feelings or ill will about ape. But my issue with ape is that it costed us each $7+ to issue each freaking ape. And now, and this is mainly for common shares. This is because it's always been about AMC. It was never about ape. Ape is an arbitrage, no problem. But it's always been, for a person who's been in since September of 2020, it's always been about AMC, AMC, and AMC only. And you can make an argument that ape is AMC because it's the arbitrage play. And I know a lot of people that went and bought like so much ape so they can jump right back into AMC and have more shares. I can't fault you for this. That's what you want to do. That's your investment. I always say do what's best for you and your family. No one's going to tell you when you could sell, when you could buy, when you could hold, what you could do. However, my thing is about fairness. It makes no sense to me to have something derive my personal investment that was made in this company for three years now, almost in about 2 months. It makes no sense that you would take $7 plus per share to create each preferred unit, and on top of that, wait for dilution purposes and to pay down debt, which I have agreed personally, and I'm pretty sure all of you, not that we got any notices that told us, hey, would you like to vote for this? No, it was just given and we basically had to kind of roll with it. So I was okay with seeing $7 per share leave out of my account, and you all have to go through that as well. And I was okay for that with that as a sacrifice for AMC. But what slapped me in the face was the fact that I gave up 7 so that Entera can pick that up for 66 cents. Where is justice into that? If you see that as justice, I don't know what justice is anymore. And on top of that, the fact that only about 4 months later, now they want to do a 10-to-1 reverse split and then do the conversion. So my common share investment have already been derived to create a preferred share equity, $7 plus per share. On top of that, you want to come back and do a conversion. Let's say I agree to that. But on top of that, you want to do another 10-to-1 reverse split to it. I can see where maybe I can accept the 10-to-1 on APE or the preferred. But how does my common equity deserve to be derived to create the dividend, the so-called dividend of APE? Then on top of that, not even 4 or 5 months later, be proposed for another 10-to-1 reverse stock split. So to say it's pretty obvious that the common equity, common shares are taking a complete beating in this whole case and this whole situation. And that's why the first settlement that they came back with, they were like, you know what? We're willing to offer 1 share for every 7.5 shares, just particularly for common shares, because the common people, like the common shares, are really taking a double hit. They took it on being derived for the dividend, and then they're taking the second hit on also a reverse split. So it doesn't make sense. I would anticipate, honestly, which brings me to this theory, the judge's main objective here is to provide what's fair for all sides involved. And I'll be more, as I told you, I will always be honest with you. As I would love there to be no reverse split on specifically any of the common equity or AMC shares, because guys, you have to see exactly where I'm coming from, guys. In a short squeeze situation, your number one enemy or friend are the amount of shares that you got. So when the MOAS takes place, and I'm wholeheartedly all about the MOAS, I can't tell you what happened, but my investment is all banking on the idea that it does. So I don't know if that tells you enough. And in an event of a MOAS happening, your only best friend or worst enemy is the amount of shares you have. And if in case the people said, well, that's why we have the arbitrage for it. But yeah, no problem. The arbitrage is there. APE is there. I don't have any. I told you before I started talking, I have no issue with APE. But my issue is with the fairness of the process. It doesn't make sense that we were literally fleeced out of our common equity, $7+ a piece to create APE. And now you want to do the same formula of 10-to-1 reverse split. The common equity is being completely hemorrhaged and completely derived and completely screwed over. That request is completely overboard. So I don't even like the 7.5 and 1. That's not even that's not clean. And guess who's loving it? The cheaper the stock, the common equity that the shorts are shorting, the cheaper it is, the less on leverage that they're going to be. They're not going to be as leveraged on that. And we see that's climbing because ever since the collapse of FTX and a bunch of other BS tokenized freaking AMC shares and what have you, when that happened, you see that now they're dealing with that. And it's been much easier to short AMC down since the drop. And people have pocketed a lot of money on buying puts on that. If it's not us, I have access to see institutional investments. And I can see that through the options flow. And when I see that they've been banking on buying puts on AMC. Banking left and right. And those actions have made us a target for lucrative opportunities for institutional investors and even other retail investors who don't give two fucks about our movement or about our family. So I would love to hear from Judge Zern a ultimately a fair assessment to mainly the AMC shares or the common equity, common shares. I have no issues with Ape at all. I have Ape when he was derived. In fact, you guys might have can go, all fact check me here. Whenever I said that even if AMC was to go down to 1 cent, they would be doing a big problem because that will give me an opportunity to load up even more. Whatever price, I don't care about the price it goes down to. So when they derived the $7+ per share on from AMC to create the preferred equity, Ape, aka Ape, to me that was a sacrifice that I was like, you know what? My dear company AMC is hurting and is in debt. And if this is all I have to do, or if I could do anything to save it other than just buying popcorn, going to every movie I can go to and do that, if I can help more, I will. And that was my way of helping more. And I'm pretty sure all of you out there feel the same exact way. And that's why you were okay, even though many were, the theorists were out there saying that, hey, guess what? Ape, once they issue out Ape, before, of course, we had Ape, once they issue that dividend, all the shorts have to pay for the dividend. Well, you were wrong because it was a dividend slash derived to create. If it was shorts that were hurting by that, they would have paid for that dividend. We paid for that dividend. Each common share paid for that dividend. Don't come and mask realities around me. I'm all about the truth. I'm all about the reality. And again, arbitrage is there, perfect. Load up on the arbitrage, but it's not fair at all that the common equity gets fleeced to create preferred equity and then go through the same reverse split conversion rate as the preferred equity. It makes zero sense to me. It is not fair. And if anybody believes that's the truth or that's fair, then like I said, I don't know what fair is. Let me read some of the comments because I feel like I was speaking on it much, but I have a big feeling, hopefully, that Judge Zern will, like Marco said, will do the right thing. Let's see. Where's Odin Float? It should be on to try. See if we have any questions. I got, who is, 1796 Patriot. There we go. There we go. It's never complete without you in the house, my friend. Gorilla Grodd, you don't think that Adam Aaron is actively trying to fuck over retail? I think he's trying to get company cash positive and playing with the cards he got. You know what? And you know what? I respect that, Gorilla Grodd. Like each person can see some other man's move in a different light or a different way. All I know is that you, Gorilla Grodd, matter to me more than anyone else because we happen to be on the same boat. I know that I'm holding like you are holding. We're in the same boat as far as if the company tanks, you tank and I tank. The company succeeds, you succeed and I succeed. And that's the light that I see everybody in this community as or in. And I can speak that the same thing that I just mentioned. I can speak that on behalf of owning the float, Mike. Clipper Mike, look at that. I'm already writing checks for Clipper Mike. He's the one who got to cash him though. KYP, nope, he's ghost now. 100%, 1796 Patriot, 100%. That's the way I felt about it. We all love each other in here. You know what? One thing I love about this family, people, is that literally there is, I know for a fact there's a bunch of no voters in here, and I know for a fact there's a bunch of yes voters in here, and yet nobody goes off on somebody or all that because one, I'm 100% confident that you guys, and I feel it, give me the respect, and I give you guys all the respect, and everybody in here respect each other. This is why I love this family. This is what I do this for, honestly. It's because we all talk to each other like, with even in the difference of opinions, we don't talk to each other like we're beneath, like somebody else is beneath me or somebody else is beneath you or whatever. No, at the end of the day, we're all freaking humans. We get up, we got to do what we got to do to put food on the freaking table for our loved ones and to provide and to chase after our dreams. And I know that we all got into this play, not necessarily only to save a company, but to chase our dreams. And we saw a possibility to do two things: save a company we fucking love and chase the dreams that we saw it as also an itinerary route map to get to our dreams as a bridge. Jerry Martinez, hello, hello, hello. There we go. Environmental, social justice, and governance. Thank you, Gorilla Grodd. Your ESG scores just went up in my book, Gorilla Grodd. uh, What's up, my brother? Baby thinks it's 3 p.m. instead of 10 p.m. Pacific. Well, I don't want to, bring you. I don't have to take anything from the family. I feel very, very, very. If you would love to jump on, you got the link. We could try it, see it. If you could hear me, if we could do it like maybe for 45 minutes, like last time. Can you hear me now? Good. You guys remember the good old Verizon commercial? The guy ended up being a traitor and he went over to Sprint. Captain No Likey, what's up, my friend? I love Captain No Likey. I've flown into Venezuela. Socialism is a reality, is totally different from people. Yep, 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 yep. I heard this somewhere, and Shirley and Adrian were watching something along with me. We're watching something, and it's like it goes like this. They ask people like, "What is socialism?" And socialism is literally um, like communism on steroids. Mr. Rogers. Whenever you say that, I always think Aaron Rodgers because I'm a Green Bay Packer, and unfortunately, he's a Jet now. So yeah, this upcoming NFL season, thank God I have two teams, and I know that sounds funny to a lot of people. It's like, hey, you gotta only have one team. You can't have two teams. That's some bandwagon shit. No, it's not. I am a Packer for life and support the Cincinnati Bengals because I live in the city and I grew up in this city. The reason why I'm a Packer for life, or I was, uh, you know, all my life a Green Bay Packer fan, is because it's owned by the city, by the shareholders. It's the only team that is as such, as far as I know. It is not owned by some old fart that just does as he please on behalf of the citizens of that city or that state that ultimately have to pay all that outrageous tax to maintain that team for his crusty ass. Owning the float. Hey, brother. Everybody show some love to owning the float. Come on. I have this crazy urge to change the. Look, I'm going back now. Bandman, how are you, my friend? Let me show some love. Ooh, dog. Nice of you to show up and join us. Broke Ape, AB, just curious, what did you vote first time around? I was always a no. Quick, quick. Because I was very vocal on explaining all three proposals that was given. You remember when they rolled out the 8K filings for all three? And I made videos that you guys could go back and look at that says, proposal number one, this is where you get the fists. Proposal number two, this is where you get the middle finger, blah, blah, blah. Like I read through them, and to the best of my knowledge and my ability, I was against it. And again, it's the way that I think the best thing for my investment and everybody's investment is through that. And I've provided ways in some of these videos too on how the company could still manage to go through with ape without having this conversion and reverse split. But now that we're on a one-way highway or street, unless Judge Zern sees otherwise, um, I don't know the limits of what Judge Zern can actually do or what can't she do. I know that she has to just look in the in between parentheses on if this is a fair deal or not. That's basically as far as I know. There's many other apes out there and other content creators who know a whole lot more than me on that particular topic. Um, I'm not as involved with the court system and all the filings of the court that happen. God knows I barely even have the time to do any of that because I'm so active with trading, and trading is where my passion is. So anything day trading or talking about trading or talking about even history or even talking about politics, you know, cool politics, YouTube rated politics, I'm all down for. Andrew Franceschi is probably Andrew Tate, just with a different handle name. Watch, all the females in the room is gonna leave in the chat. uh, Glad Hand Deb, how are you, my friend? Let's see, what do we got? Look, Shirley telling everybody like the video, people, like the live. Yes, thank you so much for all my wonderful mods in here, without even naming just one or any, all of you. Thank you so much. You guys are always keeping it top G for me in here. Thank you so much. I can't believe I just said that, but I just seen that from uh, Gorilla Grodd. But I appreciate all the support from the mods and everybody in here in the house that is always keeping it very, very family friendly and obviously very friendly in general. But I'm all for getting rid of Ape. Convert them back to AMC and be rid of Ape. Hell yeah. I bet Gorilla Grodd is probably like holding like over 200,000 apes, probably. Not putting Gorilla Grodd on blast here. I bet you want all ape to be gone. Convergent wise. Odik, Mike says he knows a girl with a moas. Oh man, I wouldn't be saying that joke, Mike. Anywhere near your love your significant other. That's so funny. That's exactly what she's gonna say. Trevor, what's up? What's up? Oh, okay. Look at that. I know I got somebody in here that I will bring in. Um, let's see. Clipper Mike. Clipper Mike. Can you hear me? Let's see if he can hear me. Mike. Mike 1212. Mikey. Can you hear us? Hold on, people. I gotta put. Oh, there's settings. What's up, Mike? I just had to change the mic. How do you hear me? Hell yeah. Man, I can't complain. I was trying to work on how to find a way to actually have an overlay so I could highlight the chat on the screen for like certain chats with questions. You have been the chosen one. So tell me, man, what do you think? How do you think the stock is going to move tomorrow? I'm not asking you or putting you on a blast here on a pedestal to tell us like, hey, Mike, do you think we're going to MOAS tomorrow? None of that. Like, what do you think the movement of the stock is going to be like? Do you have any ideas you want to share with everybody? Yep. Hmm. Well, okay. Well, let's see. People are saying Mike's audio is not good, or some can't even hear. Continue speaking, Mike. Let me see if everybody could hear you. You see three of you? Now the world is in a much better place, bro. Okay, hold on. They're still trying to hear you. Let me make sure that everybody could hear you. Speak two of me. Let me make sure that everybody could hear you. That's what I'm trying to go after. Uh, all right, let's see. Maybe none. You could hear. Speak. You continue speaking until people give us thumbs up. Put the volume up. Yeah, put the volume up. See if you could hear Mike. Let's see. Maybe none. You can hear. Speak. You continue speaking until people give us thumbs up. Can you hear me? I see. Um, so you only see one of me now, right? Or one of you? Okay, good. Ah, no, man. No, no, no. We're not ruining anything. This is really good that it's happening right here. But hold on, I think I got a way to fix this right there. This is the only way we can fix this. Let's see, collab cam, red hat. I see
Yeah,
that.
I just went and threw it on, so it's like it's the only things. It's the only shirt that I had right now that was right there by the door. I was
Mhm.
like, let me just put this on in the red hat. It's like, okay, I'm cool, man. I'm cool. See,
No,
now your picture's frozen. That I see. So your picture's frozen right now.
that's cool because
Can people?
I'm
Can people?
changing some of the settings. That's why it's gonna change
Okay.
a bit now. But I'm trying to see when people could hear us. Hey, when you guys hear Mike speak, go ahead and put the thumbs up right away,
Yeah.
so
So
that
I'm gonna
I
be
don't
talking right
change
now.
something. Yep.
So I'm just gonna just start talking, and then you just put a thumbs up. So let's see. So how was everybody's day today? Asking you guys questions. See, what else can I talk about? What's your thoughts? I'm asking you a question. What's your thoughts about Jerome Powell? What do you think he's going to say? And what about what's coming out? Was it PCE on Friday? What are your thoughts? Do you think is going to be bad, good,
Mhm.
just even? Do you think there will be a lot of chop? What's your thoughts and opinions and ideas?
Well, first of all, we got the voice now. Everybody's. Some people are saying thumbs up. So I
Okay.
think I think we worked that out, that niche out. People can hear you now. So you can stop cussing them out now. You don't have to cuss them out anymore.
Hijo de la chingada.
Well, first of all, I want everybody like us to know, like, look, guys, we're matching. Ain't that so cute, right, guys?
Twinning. I think it was it Shirley? She's like twinning. We're going to the Sadie's dance. That's what we're doing. We're going to Sadie's Hawkins.
So yeah, 1796 is right there speaking my mind. He's saying hawkish. Now here's the thing. There's three things that could Jerome Powell could say, and that was the question, guys. By the way, if you couldn't hear the mic yet when Mike came on, not the mic, but the microphone when Mike was speaking, he asked me like, what do you think is gonna? That's like the drum from the hookah, remember?
I was like, that's what you were.
So what do we think that Jerome Powell is gonna do, or what he's gonna say? So here's the thing. The In my humble opinion, there's three things that he could come out and say. One, inflation is not as good. It's didn't change much, so therefore we have to be doing maybe we might have to do still more rate hikes, which they already said that they were going to do more rate hikes somewhere along the point 50 range or 50 point basis points range in from now until the end of the year. And oh, Javi the Great, what's up, brother? Much love. Nice to see you in
Javi.
here. And
What's
that's
up, Javi?
one. The second one is he could come out and say inflation is has went up again, and
It's
therefore we got to
transitory.
be a lot stronger handling it, which would sound very hawkish, like 1796 said right there. And obviously the market will act accordingly. The third thing is they could say that the inflation have acted along the lines of what we anticipate is transitory. I think what we're doing here is working. We need to give it another month before we can add another rate hike, or something like that. And then therefore you will see obviously a market that is pumping up. Now here's the thing. The reason why I've said last week, if you remember on your live, I've said that I'm leaning more toward the upward direction on the market is because I look at the S&P 500 for over the past, you could say almost 15, 16 years. The S&P 500 have not had an actual complete crash. It had corrections, yes, but it haven't had a crash. It constantly comes right back up and creates a new all-time high and continues to go on the rise. Now, where we at? If we would look at the charts and continue to show it, like here, actually, in fact, I will open this up right here. And maybe I could
I
share
can't.
it.
I can't see nothing on the screen. Right now, what I see right now for you, I just see you and your picture is frozen from where I'm watching right now. So I have to see you on the screen. It's a delay over here.
Oh, okay. So maybe can
But
you can you see the background?
no, I can't. As I look at my computer on this side, I can. It's delayed though. So, but I have. I have a couple more minutes before I got to get back over here with the kids. Okay, now I see the screen. So go ahead.
Okay. So as you can see here, Mike, and obviously everybody else in here, if we were to go back, and this takes us back all the way to 2011, if you see, and this is the SPY, you see how we've constantly had corrections along the lines. I don't want to update, but you see along the lines, but we constantly made a gradual rise. The biggest correction we've had was back in 2020 when, the pandemic, as you like to so elegantly you refer to it as. And I love that, I love that comparison or that name. So we had the correction there, but never a crash. If you can see, we still have continuously made rebounds and made a new all-time high by the end of 2021, in December 31st of 2021. In fact, we were at the all-time high. Then we've been down most of 2022, all the way till October. And then since October of 2022, we've been on a different trend, which is to the upside. As you can see here, I'm highlighting from literally the 14th of mid-October 2022 all the way until now. And if I was to zoom in even more, you could see here some trend lines that I was building on the on the 1 minute or on the 5 day or on the, monthly time frames and stuff. And you see all these trend lines that they basically were trying to stop the bears was stop the bulls from breaking through that level at the 437.33 cents. As you can see, it met that underneath that blue line, and came right back down. However, this one big huge candle that we had yesterday showed so much into why we were able to make this where we at today happen. And obviously we
Mm-hmm.
continue to do more. Now we are here, and we ended up being in a little bit red toward the end of the trading day, but tomorrow and Friday should show what's going to happen. So with all that being said, as you've asked me, what do I think? Seeing the fact that seeing the fact that we have always made for the past 16 plus years all-time highs after every correction, I still think that we are embraced here in this pattern to possibly, and again, guys, none of us, neither me or Mike, owning the float, are giving
Take
any
back,
financial
take back.
any financial advice, but as you can see, I imagine us breaking that 468 and 0.78 cents level before we do make a run back down. Now that could be lived in a matter of a week. We could break that. A spike could run up 2-3%, and next thing you know, we're in that range. And then it could be down. Now the crazier part is obviously all the technicals are showing that we are way overbought on many different stocks, and a market, without any doubt, is, and I'm not the one who's only saying it, also many bankers, many brokers, many traders will tell you this. Any day trader or any seasoned trader will tell everybody in here that the market is due for a correction. No matter what, most of the stocks are due for a correction. That was a crazy, unsustainable run. It wasn't a healthy run where the market was running to the upside. And that's why a lot of people are calling it bull market, when in reality, I don't think we've ever been outside of one. And now we could either make a new all-time high and perhaps have a correction that will perhaps come down, somewhere underneath the $300 range. And I know that's very hawkish to say, but that's just been the trend almost every 2 to 3 years with the S&P 500. And I will rest my case with that. And I will ask you, what do you think Mr. JP is going to come out and say?
I say this, man. Again, we're the retail investors. We're always last to know. And before I get out of here, I'm going to say this. I disagree with you slightly because I think one is that we have a rate hike coming up that's not priced into the market. Number two is Jerome Powell. He's saying just enough to keep him out of trouble. Inflation is super sticky and there's huge issues. Number three is the fact that we have PCE. I think it's PCE on Friday, which is going to determine a lot going into the weekend because it's going to happen pre-market. And number four, yes, everything is overbought. It's overbought dramatically in a way that we have not seen in quite some time. And so I think you add all those up together, and then getting back to AMC, we have the hearing, we have the schedule for that, we have a decision going to be made, regardless of what's going to be. So I think the next 48 hours, maybe from this time on Friday night, we're gonna know a lot, and I'm gonna lean to the side of about a 65% chance we're gonna be red. We're gonna be looking at downside of the market because even if inflation comes out and it's not as sticky as they say, or maybe we meet expectations, we don't have to beat, but meet expectations. I still believe that we're still over 5%. When it comes to inflation, when it comes to a lot of things that are happening, core inflation is the thing that's really sticky and it's not moving anywhere. But more importantly, is the fact that people are not making as much money, hourly. We're not keeping up with inflation, and this doesn't go back to the thing we keep harping about is commercial real estate. 48 hours. I'm gonna say this. I'm more bearish, but we have not entered the bear market. I'm still, I think what we talked about last time on my live stream was that it was just the pandemic happened and it was the correction, it was the adjustment, and now it pushed right back up. We have not entered the bear market, and if anything, it's going to be in the short term, probably in the next maybe 2 to 3 months. But we'll see how it goes in the next 48 hours. I'm bearish, actually, hella bearish, big bearish,
And
bear clawish.
this is where Stephen A. Smith comes in. You see, Mike, I totally agree with everything you just said there, but
No, but you have to yell and you have to jump in the seat and do something with that,
I can't
So
believe that you guys are saying any of this. Why can't
right,
nobody see what I'm seeing? What?
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. But all right, man, I'm gonna have to get going. I get the babies over here. Have a good night, and just to everybody out there, just gotta understand something. I'm gonna say this right here, and that AB is the most underrated YouTuber in the history of YouTuber. This dude is fantastic. Okay, so he is fantastic. He like, subscribe, tweet him out, do all these things. I know that he's a humble man. Just God bless you, man. Everybody have a good night, stay blessed, and I shall see everybody shortly. Take it easy, peace.
Peace out, brother Mike. Everybody show some love to brother Mike. What a legend, right? The man, the myth, the legend. He's a dad too. Can you guys believe it? Men like Mike. That's all I can say. Um, look at him. He came in, stole, like, took the gravity out of the whole stream, and just walked out so nonchalantly, like nothing even happened. I hope you guys loved my Stephen A. Smith persona. But I totally respect. See, the one thing about brother owning the float, clip a mic, that is the man has a voice of reason. And the most important thing that stood out to me was the fact that the guy is not only a legend at what he does, but he has pure intentions, and that's what I'm all about. I feel and hear and can tell people's energies, and that's what matters to me the most. And look at that. Now I'm looking back in the chat right here. I see Jam Bams. Look at that. If Jam Bams is in here, that means we got a lot of people coming over to the stream because Jam Bams will definitely bring so much people, good energy, positive vibes, and nothing but amazing individual and soul. So there's my jam bands right there. 1796 Patriot saying absolutely, and I think that's about my Stephen A. Smith impersonation. So I would, even if it's not, I would like to think it is. So let me just keep that moment 1796. MMA and boxing tips. Hey, peace out, Mike. The goat float. Hell yeah, look at that. Glad we own nothing and we will like it. Thank comedian. Now let me go right back up to see if anybody have asked any question. Well, Mike, if you're still carrying through this, if you're watching in the background for this, there's a question here from Broke Ape saying that owning the float, will you be live during the call tomorrow and Friday? Darren Bogan, AB correction. Well, I'm sure you mean halving. Exactly. See, here's the thing, Darren, and to everybody else. That chart with the S&P 500. If we were to actually have a crash, if we were really to have a crash, people, then it will be something that have not happened even since, like, literally the creation of the S&P 500, because even in 2008 they called it a crash, but technically we had a correction because we continued making higher highs afterwards. So I go along with the data, and what I've seen is if I was to be correct on this, and we continue to push up, this explains when you look at the data and you look at the like the trends that have happened over the years. If we were to follow the same trends and patterns of the past so-called whatever 20 years of trading of the S&P 500, exactly the same demeanors, then we are by no doubt expected to make some sort of all-time high or push for a higher trend before we make a sharp correction. Because every time we have a correction, it's never like the way that we have had right here that we're dealing with right now, as far as trend wise. Now, if we go against the trend and we drop, I agree with you, Darren. That's a very good point. Not only will be having, we would officially do something the SPY or the S&P 500 have never gone through, which is the ultimate Megatron slash Transformer style crash that it never been through ever in its entirety of existence, to break under previous lows of the past corrections, to go all the way down, 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 down. And believe it or not, your boy is actually planning on being on that. In fact, I have it on my wall called as Miracle Number Two. So if you guys ever have a secret code with AB, if we have a family thing where we call, like it's an inside joke amongst us as a family, like, hey, Miracle Number Two. No one outside this family is going to understand what we're talking about, but we all will know what the hell it is. Let's see. Look at that. So many people showing so much love to Jam Bams, as they should. Let's see. Do we have any questions? Where are the cues? What else do you want to see? You guys want to go back and look at some of the charts that was on there? For those of you who haven't been in here from the beginning, what do you guys think is going to happen with the case, at least as far as by Friday? What do you guys think? Put your thoughts. If you weren't here in the beginning of this stream and you haven't heard that conversation we were having, um, go ahead and let us know. Enlighten us. Let me see. I need to share the screen. Okay. So as you guys can see here on the weekly, and by the way, okay, so maybe you guys didn't ask this question, but here's a question that I will ask and answer at the same time. So this is also not financial advice. I gotta cover myself, people. But here's the thing: if you don't know, if you're a person who's playing the S&P 500 or in general any of the stocks in the stock market, besides our favorite meme stocks or our favorite AMC slash GME slash cause slash SPC, whatever, whichever one you're in, or in a bunch of them that you're in. One thing I will say, there is many other styles, and you have to learn from the institutional way of how they go about investing. So they always, the institutional doesn't mean that they're better than us. The reason why they call them smart money is because they, most of them have whatever their degrees in it and all that stuff, but that doesn't mean they're better than us in trading. For now, they might be, but we're changing that as a community or as a movement. And you guys that movie that's coming out really soon, as far as that talks about Roaring Kitty and how Melvin Capital got screwed and all that kind of stuff. Although I feel some type of way about it because I think that no MOAS movie should be made until after we MOAS. Rightfully so. That's the way I feel. So either way, the reason why they're technically called smart money is the name of the game. The big name, or like when you're talking about the ultimate, what the whole game is about, um, it's mainly about. Hold on, let me make my image smaller so that I don't intercept any of the, uh, I don't intercept any of the screen. So the name of the game is technically what it all comes down to is hedging, because since there's always risk and reward, and obviously you always want to set yourself up with your technicals, as far as your entry levels and your exit levels, all those take care of the risk and reward factor. But what takes care of the hedging factor? That's ultimately what the whole game is about, because you might have your entry and exit strategy worked out, but if you don't leverage yourself for or hedge yourself toward an unexpected reality, because you could have a plan and your plan is go in here and exit there, or have an umbrella like style of exiting. And I know a lot of people are gonna probably ask, like, what is the umbrella like style? And there is some technical indicators about that, but that's basically your profit taking strategy. And like men like owning the float saying taking profit is paramount. Yes, 1000%. Now, that's one scenario you've already got in the back of your head. Now, what's the second scenario? What makes smart money is that they try to cover as much bases that they are into or exposed to. And that's called hedging. When they go into something with a particular reality, they will also access. This is why you would see AMC or GME, when you see Bank of America or certain other stocks or institutions, sorry, not stocks, institutions that jump in and they'll buy like a bunch of puts, buy a bunch of calls, and a bunch of stocks. And you're like, okay, we'll make up your mind. A lot of people, I've heard this for a lot of people. Make up your mind. Where's this going? Well, that's what they're doing. Is they're playing all the sides and all outcomes in case they get exposed to something other than the other. Then the hedging factor of the opposite direction factors in and limits their blow to the other side, and they can have enough time to reduce their exposure to the losing side, whether it's to the upside or to the downside, and then rack in the profits on the opposite. And now a lot of times what they do is they go in and they would actually play both sides, as in no stock just skyrockets. Well, unless it's Moaz time. But eventually, all the music, comes to a stop. All the fun comes to a stop of something that's moving up or even going down. Something bottoms or something tops, and that's why you hear these words in the trading world where tops. This stock just topped, or this stock just bottomed, and eventually it will head to the other direction. Now, these big smart money institutions slash banks, whatever you want to think of them, Schwartz, they would have themselves in positions where they're hedged to all directions. And that way they can make as much money. And guess what? These guys are so cheap. And you get almost to a level where you got to respect it. If it wasn't with manipulation, I freaking love it. I respect it and I give them a salute for it. But unfortunately, if there was no level of manipulation, then I would give them a big salute and they would totally own it. But what they do is they're so even cheap to the point where they make that all that hedging so that they could also expose themselves to capital gains that could obviously go over the yearly. So if the stock is exposed to something like this and they're racking this much profits, they can see how much tax they're going to be exposed to. However, there's many other holes that they can funnel through to have nonprofits and whatnot to pay as least amount of taxes as possible. Perhaps look at Mr. Kenny G. There's definitely no love lost there between me and this guy. But look at him when he makes a two to $300 million donation to Harvard so that a certain program can be named after the great Kenny G in the College of Business and whatever. Well, guess what? That's $200-300 million that he will be named. A statue will be made for him, and the program will be named after him. But guess what? It's a tax evasion style. That's what it exactly is for. They get they get to be noticed. They get the benefits of having the fun, and they make a party for them, and they bring them in, and they give them the podium to make a speech, and everybody speaks to them and all that stuff. But in the same time, the people who truly pay the taxes on that is it comes out of your pockets, my pockets, and every average American citizen that pays taxes here. That's who pays the tab on that huge donation, because when it comes to the end of the year, he will definitely claim that as a tax write-off. And that's why these rich pansies or bozos do certain things. And I know maybe if Kenny G is watching here right now, guess what? You can't feel some type of way about me with saying these statements, mainly just because I have no particular animosity toward you, my friend. It's just the truth. I'm calling out the truth, and you can't hate the player. You got to hate the game and understanding really what it's all about. Khadija Muhammad, Eid Mubarak to you as well. Hopefully, you had a lot of great food, and hopefully, all the families and all well spirits, and everybody is happy where you are. Send my well wishes to the rest of the family, please, on my behalf. Food Dog wants to be timed out first. I hope you heard that, Shirley, as he's saying. 1796 Patriot judge will not make a decision until she studies the testimony and writes a decision. Well, let's see that. Gorilla Grodd, indeed, we are beating them at their own game. And that's what I was talking about with this, as far as hedging yourself for these. So even if you believe, and this is what exposes, unfortunately, a lot of our dear family like brothers and sisters in the stock market, retail, that represents retail. The issue is many people will do, even if they're good at technical analysis, for even, let's say hypothetically speaking, even if they are good at technical analysis, the issue is they expose themselves only to one scenario. And yet, if it doesn't go through, they blame nobody else or none other than the market maker and all that. While that is true, there's a lot of corruption and manipulation. But if you know, and let me ask you this question, guys, to everybody. If you know this, whatever, quote unquote, this particular alley or this street, it's very known for people getting jumped in if you walk through it after certain times or hours. Um, would you walk through it, empty-handed, or would you go through it if you have to walk through it to get to your home or to get about? I know this is like a crazy example, but this is the closest thing that I could think of right now. However, if you have to go through that alley and you know what that alley is known of, you know there's a lot of shady shit that goes down in that alley or in that street after 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock when the street lights come out. Um, then would you go through it empty-handed? Would you go through it alone? What would you do? Wouldn't you go ahead and make adjustments to that? Like you would go ahead and be like, you know what? No, I need to carry as I go through this because something like, something shady could happen to me here. So you prepare for that. And that's what hedging is. And that's where the smart money gets that name of smart money. And unfortunately, this is where I see many of our retail traders make mistakes, as in they go ahead and say, this is what's going to happen. And they could have all the technical analysis, agree totally with it. And and they go wholeheartedly into that trade, and next thing you know, it does something unexpected, and it might work many times, but it might be that one that where it doesn't, and then it completely rattles them. And obviously, the first thing they come back with is the market maker screwed me up, blah blah blah. Well, again, like that example I mentioned, if you know there is a lot of shady shit that this system does, how do you still expose yourself to making money and get trades done without end up being the one that's not just bag holding, but hurt? And the way that you do that is by taking a page out of their book and study it a little bit longer and then use it against them and actually be smarter at it than them. Leverage and hedge positions that you go in. There is institutions that I personally know of that they literally would go into a position knowing that it's not gonna perhaps work like 96%, 95%. It's not gonna go in that direction. And they're okay with losing premiums on whatever, whether it's a call options or whatever, because they know that what's gonna happen is that this company is gonna drop. But they still, anyways, go in and hedge their positions with both positions, with calls and puts, and they will see through the calculation of how many stocks is each amount of calls and then puts that they have, and they hedge their position so that they don't, in case whatever happens, in case all else fails and the most probable becomes the improbable and it does not happen, they don't end up racking in many investors money on the line. And by the way, that's where Melvin Capital really screwed up. So they did not hedge. Speaking of hedging, they did not hedge their self completely. They went overboard. They went on a tirade of shorting to like it's literally like the 4th of July, and they just kept shorting, and eventually you saw what happened. They received a letter. Every person that invested in that firm, rest in peace. They all got their letters saying, I'm sorry, I've lost your money. I would love for you to please give me another chance and trust me again. Give me your monies again. And they all told him to go fuck yourself. And eventually, he is now actively trying, surprisingly, I'm surprised. Are you surprised? He's trying to actively purchase the Charlotte Bobcats from Michael Jordan, who was back in 2021 rumored to have lost a lot of money that was tied into the GME run up. A lot of rumors, and it kind of adds up because the rumors were saying, or rumors had it, that MJ had a lot of money invested in Melvin Capital. Melvin Capital, we know what happened with Melvin Capital as far as their short positions and what got their hedge funds shut down on their short positions against GME and AMC, and we still don't know what happened to those AMC shorts, right? Have any of you found them? Please put them in the comment section if you have. Let me know because I still am looking for them. And eventually now you see that MJ is actively trying to sell his majority stake. And what do you think? Voila, Melvin Capital's whatever his name is, the guy. You guys can also put his name in the chat. What's his name? Um, Golovkin? No, that's a boxer. Something Golovkin, something like that. He's actually trying to work with a different group. And they're all partnered up to try to buy MJ out of the Charlotte Bobcats. Did he lose his ass off on his money that Melvin was telling him, trust us, we'll invest it for you? Did they possibly screw over the GOAT of basketball? Although I might, not say that it was MJ. Personally, for me, it is Kobe Bryant. May God rest his soul and family. Hopefully they're all good, but hopefully his soul rest in peace. Yeah, thank you, Darren. Gabe Plotkin, exactly. Plaskin. That just reminded me of what's her name, Carol Baskin. I don't think I'm gonna financially ever recover from this. Yeah, no cheese, just more wine. Hell yeah. Aging just fine. Uh, let's see. What else? What else do we have? AB, me and my son are working on a food truck as we speak. Name two guys, one spoon. Why am I laughing? I shouldn't be laughing at this. He's using the 153,000 he won in Vegas on Cinco de Mayo to start it up. Let's effing go. For each one of you out there, if you're watching this stream and you saw my reaction and you also had, if you had a reaction, put thumbs up. And you know what I'm talking about. If nobody puts a thumbs up, then we won't even address what the reaction was about. Oh man. Thank you, Trevor. Gabe Plotkin. Carol Baskin. Alice, how are you doing, my friend? No need to be sorry. You're just in time. Let's see. So speaking of hedging, as I said, so what smart money would do, as you guys saw, I see an upward movement. Um, Not necessarily this week. I'm talking about like in this short to long term period. Like I'm talking about within now till the next at least month and a half. That's the way I see it. Again, it's not financial advice. And Mike on the float, the brother who was just in here, the legend, right? Um, Sees it going the opposite direction, and that's absolutely a very, 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 very good thing. In fact, it's the more likely thing to happen. And if it does go up, either way, hey, one of us at least for sure had it correct. And it's not totally about what's correct and what's wrong. It's about ultimately what happens because it affects the rest of the market that we're all, even AMC, are a part of. Um, let's see. So looking over here, so what smart money does, let's say Mike is correct, okay, about the short in the short term or even in the long term run soon, within at least the next month or two, that we will have a nice correction or a drop. Then the smart money, what they do is they will hedge their positions. They were to open up any positions in whatever stock. You got to remember, many of these stocks are in this S&P 500. The Teslas, the Apples, the Nvidias, even the Amazons. Like when these AMDs, the Adobes, like all these stocks, yes, they're individual, but what happens with them affects the rest of the S&P 500 basket, the ETF. And again, the SPY tracks most of these in as far as an index fund. So therefore, what smart money does is they will go ahead and open up two positions. Of course, they will expose themselves more to the more out like the more likely position or outcome that they think is going to happen. So if they expect that it's going to go up, then they will still hedge with the possibility of it going down. But if it does, like they will have a lot more calls lined up on the line to make sure they cover that they're more exposed to the profits on the most likely outcome they expect to happen. But yet, if that does not happen and GAP, Mr. Jerome Powell comes out and says, I don't think so, no money printed today. Here's another rate hike. Screw your inflation. We're trying to tame that shit. And it tanks. They're still exposed to making money on the downsides because they hedge their positions with puts on that market. And then they will try to limit their exposure to the call amount of calls they had. And they will reap the rewards or make up the losses throughout the puts and perhaps reap many profits. Now, that's what smart money would do. And either way, they're going to be correct. I know one thing for sure is that the SPY, it might do something like this, where as you can see here, there was a bunch of like corrections. This is on a grand scheme of like, of things like here, it could take us all the way back to 2020. But as you can see here, it could do things where it just corrects slightly and goes right back up. But when you're talking about the SPY doing corrections, you're talking about $30, $20 corrections or hot rises. So within the next whatever month or two, a completely different look of a SPY will be up on us. And that's just my prediction, whether it will be all the way down here and anywhere. I'm not going to point at a particular place or somewhere up there where we can't see on the chart, perhaps breaking the 500, which is funny because you're talking about the S&P 500. But I just wanted to show everybody like the things that I would like for you to see and understand how the enemy or the other side operates so that they can expose themselves to either side, that way limiting the possibility of being fleeced completely and perhaps going out of business at all. Let's see, who else do we have in here? See, Brocape says two forks, two guys, one fork sounds better. Another spoon is hilarious. See, Gorilla Grodd, you can't even keep anything on the hush. Just came out straight up and said two ladies and a cup. Now I know Gorilla Grodd is in the millennial, uh, as myself, from the millennial age, because that's when that kind of stuff, the two cups and the two spoons and the stuff. That's when this stuff came out. Oh man, or one knife. I don't want to be a part of anything like this, any of these videos, but I'm pretty sure that's gonna be one that nobody comes back from with one knife. Let's see. Thanks for taking care of that. Jams. Why? Did we have to take care of somebody? Did we have to take care of somebody? Wow, that'd be crazy. Let's see. CS Trades, what's up, bro? How are you, brother? Wolfpack dropping in AB. What's up, my friend? Long time no see, man, and no speak, and hopefully all is well with you, man. When are you gonna come back to make YouTube videos? Bro, Cape loves it. Charlie, don't ever change. Look at Foo Dog getting the best out of people, right? Let's look at our beloved AMC now chart as well, right? That doesn't make sense. Just look at uh, whatever, like just look at freaking Spy and all that shit. It's one of the most beautiful charts ever is this AMC chart. Like literally the most bullish chart probably I've ever seen in my whole life. One of. Ooh. And let's look at some of the moving averages as we looked at before. Remember our gold and the 5 is purple. Let's do the 50 as a, no, let's change that color. Let's do red. Okay. Let's change the thickness of the line. Bang. Okay, that's on the weekly. Do on a daily. You guys see this huge candle we just had today in the price action, which was amazing. But the most amazing thing to me, guys, as I explained to you in previous lives, that our literally like our 200, we're underneath the 200 moving average, 200-day moving average, which of course indicates that it's a bearish, we're an underperformer, we're in a bearish market in the bottom. But the beautiful part about that is that for as long as we've been, and I showed this to you guys last, like what, how many lives ago? That ever since we made this cross right here, which was a death cross, in January 6th of 2022, roughly, yeah, about January 5th, January 6th, 2022. You see that when the 50-day moving average crossed the 200-day moving average to the downside, and therefore that indicated a death cross, which is the opposite, as I've explained to you guys before, the golden cross. And when that happened, that always indicates action, like in the price, down price action. And of course, if you're trading day to day, these indicators are great, but there are much better indicators to use for day trading. This is not for day trading mainly. I don't use it too much. It gives you a good picture, it paints a good picture, but it's not an indicator that I use for day trading constantly because it's lagging a little bit behind. So this is good to see the ultimate expectations for me to make up a good picture on where this thing could be heading. This is some of the technicals that I use. Now for day trading, there's many other styles, many other indications, and many other ways to obviously read price action. That's the most important thing. And more importantly, also than that, is to have other styles. And I will explain some of that stuff once we do a day trade uh, live here and there, perhaps soon. So ever since January 6th of 2022, guys, we've been on a death cross. And as it sounds, means down action in the price. And ever since then, imagine this, literally a year and a half ago, over a year and a half ago, our movement has been constantly under our 200-day average. Now look at this. This is why I say this is one of the most bullish charts that I've seen that I love. If you see this, now one thing I've taught you guys before, and again, this is not financial advice, this is technical advice, okay? One of the things I've always taught you guys and told you guys that once the 50-day moving average crosses the 200-day moving average to the upside, which is again when this red line right here that we highlighted as red it crosses this gold line. Look how much the difference. Once we made that death cross right here back in January 6th of 2022, you saw how we gapped down and over a course of over a year and a half until today, we've been in this. But one thing we can see here, look at this. Remember in 2022, in August/September, do you remember when the ape was issued? I've showed you guys this in the previous lives, where we were literally on the verge of crossing the 200-day moving average and flip to the upside, which will indicate the golden cross. And golden cross indicates a massive move to the upside and a change of trends on the on the trading style of, or the trading trend of the stock, which means instead of it being under the 200-day moving average, it will be over and a change of trend to the upside. Now, we were literally on the cusp of having that right over here in the August area. As you can see, we had that run up, if you guys remember back then, and then that's when people and institutions were all piling in onto AMC shares before the record date so that they can have one-to-one issuance of APE or preferred stock equity, which after the issuance of that, you see here how we almost broke that. You see the data don't lie, men lie, women lie. We all know that saying, but the data doesn't. We were almost crossing it and changing all of that. But when the issuance happened, of course, naturally, it was derived out of the shares, or the price of AMC, in other words, was dropped. And when it did drop, you see that on the chart here, changing it back down, which ended up sending us back again since September of 2022 on a downward spiral leading to today. When you're talking about 8-9 months ago. So now look where we are. If I make this smaller, look at this. This might look even better. Do you see how close we are to crossing that 200 EMA? And when you look at the EMA, or sorry, not the EMA, the moving average of the 200-day moving average, you'll see that is sitting at the 575 level, while the stock, the 50-day moving average, is at 495, and we're obviously currently at 441, I believe, right? Exactly. So not counting for the after hour. So if we count for the after hour, oh, we can't do it here because it's on a daily, not on the on a long term monthly. I think I have it on a monthly range, so you can't see it right there. But if we were to change it to the 1 minute, now you can see the after hours right here chart, and we can see that we are sitting at 433 instead. So going back to this once again, now that we see here a upward trend movement, we see that at least in the purple right here, let's zoom in a little bit more again. We see that the purple, which is the 5-day moving average, have crossed the 10-day moving average, which is not a bad thing. That's a very good sign. Look at this big, huge candle that happened today, that the top of that wick goes right above that 455 region. Clearly on the daily, on the 1 hour range, you can see on this that like the buyers, what this wick shows you, this is a huge candle and one large wick. The wick is that one small thin green line. That indicates that the buyers, the bulls in other words, which is us, were able to get the price up to 455, but within that same minute, that dream was proved to be very much because they did not allow us to close over that 455. Clearly, some entity out there, or let me quote someone else, the forces that wants to do us harm do not want us crossing the 200 the 200-day moving average. And you can see where that wick, at least even on the daily. However, if you look back again through this, you see the trend is changing. We seem to bottom back. If you remember last week, I've had a live and I told you guys that we had some blanks to fill here. Back over, where was it? On the yearly. If you saw right there, we had some gaps to close at right there at the $4 range, and that's where we dropped within this past week. And we had to, you see this gap right there, we had to close this. That was initiated back in April 3rd, which was about 2.5 months ago, where we initiated this gap. And I believe personally that we might have and this is again, I might have bottomed right there, because every time we've been at this range, see, I drew a blue line for you. If you look at it, we've literally springed up. This was, if you look back here, this is literally January 1st of 2021, the first crime they did to us when they halted the brokers trading and took out the buy button on AMC and a bunch of other meme stocks. And that's when this rise, and then by taking the button away, obviously the price action dropped. Entities were just due to sell only. And if you can see that, this blue line right here that stretched, I drew for you, is a trend blue line that stretched from back there. This is the same level we springed up from. And even when we came here, when we had June, about 5 months later of 2021, we didn't even drop down to that blue line to spring right back up. So if we were here and we have a rise, we might be in the beginning of this, then we are definitely, if you could see that, right here, this brings us to today. We're on that blue trend line that we drew for you right down there. Well, I drew for you. So as you can see on the yearly, or on that like on the yearly range, it's still, we still need to break that 575, and the 50-day moving average is at 495. We're literally, guys, like about less than $1/$1 away from moving upwards, and constantly perhaps at that point make and form a golden cross similar to what we did back here. Right there. You see this? Guess what? This formed on February 17th of 2021. When that happened, look at it. When you form a golden cross, clearly, you clearly have like, and here's another thing I want you to remember in the back of your head. Whenever you form a golden cross, as that's one of the most bullish indicators out there ever, once you see candles like three big candles like this, which obviously happen on the course of a uh, weekly base or a daily base right there. These are week daily candles, big ones that shows after we made that cross, we went up clearly. And ever since we made this golden cross in February 17th, if you see this, we have constantly ever since then been making higher highs, not to a crazy range, but we've constantly been moving up ever since February 17th of 2021, leading up to June of 2021. And that's when obviously the magical hour happened and the magical moment happened. It started really technically, you could say, in the end of May, and it pushed up. And that's where we had June 2nd is when we reached our peak. And the rest was history at that point. As you can see, we're literally about within less about $1 range away from crossing that same thing again, right there. And once that crosses, I believe that it's time to the land of milk and honey. Again, I'm not a financial advisor at family, but it is what I see happening, or the case that's happening. Hopefully that made sense to a lot of people, and hopefully you guys liked what I showed you. Let's see what people were saying. CS Trades, Mike is having just off time. Well, that's what's up, brother. It's overdue now that for you to come back. So make a return, brother. Let's see. Non-refundable. This up. I was trying to watch the last video that dropped, but seeing you were live. Well, you could have some now and you could have some after. Thanks. That's very sweet of you to stop by. Non-refundable. Thank you for showing love and stopping through. We need like 10 more of those handles, Eddie. Broke Ape. How many times do I have to tell you? You're technically Rich Ape. You still just don't know it. That's what you're gonna change your YouTube handle name handle to. You'll see in due time. Real Agrad, not financial advice. Look into Dark Pulse Technologies, an over-the-counter stock still, but trying to get on the Nasdaq and uplisted. I'm in it for the next few years. A good company with a few projects coming. Hell yeah! Well, if you did your due diligence on it, Gorilla Grodd, now you got my attention. Now that company got my attention. Dark Pulse Technologies. Okay, sounds a little bit on the scary side, but you're in it. I'm in it. No financial advice. I understand, brother. Captain No Likey. Yes, Ape appeared. Broke Ape, all indicators lag. I go by volume profile coupled with RSI and support and resistance. See, there you go, Broke Ape. That's 100% true. The RSI, of course, tells you the relative strength is the relative strength index. And on day trading, you definitely need, that's just one of my indicators that I use is the RSI. However, I also use the MACD. It's one of my techniques to use. Now, there's many other techniques. I can read price action through candles. I can read the Hikashi candles format, which tells you the volume even better on a little bit longer of a time span. So there's many techniques to go through, guys. There's not just one, and that's the beauty of trading. That's what makes me love day trading, as long as it's not with our favorite stocks. Jams took care of it. Okay, so we did have some chill in here probably. Wow. Not too many of those normally. But you know, the bathtub boys. Trevor. The cheese has a lot of holes in it. Yaka. What's up, Yaka? Yaka's got that wrench. All right, guys. Will you guys have any other questions? Do you guys have a particular stock you guys want us to look at on the charts? Um, I want to definitely, not take all your night out. We've spent a really valuable amount of time, beautiful amount of time. We've talked a lot of things. We've had my brother Mike owning the float, which please, guys, he might have not said it, and I almost forgot about it, but I will never do so. If you have not subscribe to Mike owning the float, please go ahead and do so. He's a legend, an amazing individual, great spirit, and a wonderful soul. Um, and it's not about like making life changing wealth with that. It's just all about changing the algorithms for all of us. Here, let me make myself a little bit bigger here. Yeah. Trevor, how many indicators do I use? Different ones? There's a many, man. There's many different styles. It just becomes beautiful to play with. And it's all about. It's not. See, a lot of I notice a lot of things, and I'll tell you this, in Trevor. Of course, there's the moving averages, and this is I use the moving averages when I'm trying to either go long on something or I'm about to get into or open up a position into a stock. Of course, sometimes some situations makes it a lot easier. If the stock is at an all-time high, you can see exactly where you'd have to use relate to the RSI level, as Brocape mentioned in here, and that will tell you all what mostly you need to know. There are certain levels between where the RSI is considered to be overbought or, of course, oversold. Now, here's the thing: um, the a lot of mistakes that I see a lot of people do in day trading is they would go ahead and make a chart look like this. Watch this. They would have five freaking thousand indicators to go on one chart, and unfortunately it will show them so much. It will not really give you what you need. It will only complicate the way that you're viewing your chart and doing any of that. So it's technically all about pairing the right indicators with the right ones. So one of my favorites is to have the RSI with the MACD involved. Now the moving averages, as I've showed right here, are constantly for me to see if I'm trying to open up, go long on something, or if I'm trying to particularly see exactly where something stands, that's exactly where I would go. Now there's of course still Fibonacci retracements, and that's when you see if a stock is in a format of dumping or not. Now here's another thing. I can simplify many things for you. Let me take all these indicators out. If you want to see, normally, there's a great advice that I will give all of you right here, okay? And this is advice, you can take it with you. Makes you like it will help you a lot throughout your day trading career if you're making a career out of it. But here's one thing you should always know in the back of your head is when you're trading, you constantly wanna, and this is rule number, I don't know what, 101 in day trading. If you're day trading, not about a long position and whatnot, but this also helps you in making long positions. So remember this. I don't know, man. If I came around probably right when before the and started doing YouTube before AMC movement started happening, I think you guys will all be having a lot of fun, and you guys would have definitely, many of you would have been on different page. I would say different thing. Not that I'm giving financial advice to people, but this will help you a lot. You always want to go with the trends. And I know you probably might hear a few people here and there say that, but what a lot of people do is they copy and paste what they hear somewhere else without fully understanding what the go with the trend means. And I'm going to show you this here, okay? Um, Trevor and everybody else, watch this. So I will take literally all of these out. It's okay, I can add them on later. Okay. See, I took all my moving averaging lines out of the way. And if you notice here, the trend is where the stock is below or relatively to the 200-day moving average. So if you go into this, let's say AMC was not the stock that we're in, okay, family? And we just walked in. I just walked in. If I'm a day trader and I walked in and I see that AMC is underneath that gold line, which is the 200-day moving average, which means if I walked in right here and AMC was down here, I would not, if I want to go long, I would not be going into it anywhere in this region until this stock makes a confirmation of it changing. So let me give you a secret here. A secret that many people consider a secret. You know, I don't give a shit because for me, it's not a secret. Making sure everybody's on the same page is what the family comes, is what dictates actually an actual family. Okay. So a lot of traders or seasoned traders would not take a position in this stock. Forget the name, forget that it's AMC right here. Would not make an actual long position in this stock until it makes that break or it starts to trade. If the price was to trade above the 575 range, which means when it gets to that right there, that means it is above when it until forget 575, just as long as it gets to above the 200-day moving average. And when it gets to over the 200-day moving average, that means it's in a trend of an upper. It's over the 200-day moving average, which means it's in a upper uh, price action toward the stock. So that means the stock is moving up, which comes off of a golden cross at that point, which means this is the excellent moment. Whenever this breaks this and the price is above this gold line, that's when seasoned traders open up a long position because they know that this thing is moving on to the top. Now, of course, you don't want something like this to happen where the price on a 1 day or like a 2 day. Remember when like ape was being issued out of AMC, so a lot of people were piling up. You don't want a false confirmation. You see that wick? The candle was up, but the wick stopped right above and turned right back down. Same thing here. There was some crazy thing. You want a confirmation to happen before you can be confirmed that you are moving above the 200-day moving average. And if you're moving above the 200-day moving average, that indicates to any trader that the trend is to the upside for this stock. And therefore, that's when they open up their long position. Voila. How about that? Thumbs down, thumbs up. What do y'all think? Tell me what you think, little mama. Good night, bro Cape. Good night, brother. Yucca, AB, mushroom makes you bigger. Alfredo. Alice, one day you could teach us calls, puts, options like you did with Golden Cross, etc. You are a fantastic teacher, AB. Well, that brings tears to the heart. Thank you so much, Alice. Thank you for the bottom of my heart. Appreciate the nice gesture and the kind words. Trevor, thank you. And do you always look at it from a 1 day? No, you can look at it for more than, of course, there's no and remember, and good point that you brought that up. Good thing you brought that up. So any trader, there's no particular only time frame to look at these things. Normally, if you want to look at a more bullish action, you want to look at a longer time frame, because the 200-day moving average, when you look at it from a longer time frame, like the yearly or the monthly, you will have, of course, a like if you're crossing above this, that's when you know that you can go up. So here's the thing. Here's what a seasoned trader would do. Okay. Let's look at this. Forget again that this is AMC. They'll walk in here. They don't know anything about this ape movement to the moon, MOAS talk, all that stuff. They'll come in and they see this. They're like, okay, this thing has been in a terrible down action since literally 2022. I'm good. I don't need this. It's not yet. I don't want to park my money. See, what we're doing as far as buy and hold is amazing for MOAS, but buy and hold for day traders is not the way that they make money. That's not the right plat or formula for success. So what they do is they get in when they see that, okay, this, I'm going to go long on this, but I'm only going to go long on this when it's right time, because when something is in the downtrend, when it's underneath the 200-day moving average, then you'll notice that right here, from here to here, if you entered right here on this hype somewhere back in August of 2022, you would be buying AMC at a much higher price at 1130, 1150, rather than like you see it kept making lows, and now you'd have to be averaging down more and more and more. Now, personally for me, this whole what I'm explaining here pertains nothing to AMC, because I bought AMC at 30, I bought AMC at 10, I bought AMC at 6, at 7, I bought AMC at 50, 40, 30, and God is my witness. So anyways, here, once you see this, that like a trader would come in and see this and will say, okay, you know what, this stock is still in a bear movement, it's still in a downtrend, it's underneath its 200-day moving average, so I'm gonna wait. I'm going to go use my dry powder elsewhere that is already moving across that trend. And once they see that, that's where they put their money, because they know that once they are confirmed to break out of that trend of the 200-day moving average, so it'll be somewhere around here, up here in the sevens, is when they would create, and of course, in the sevens on a healthy price action, not in the sevens like this, where it spikes up in 1 day or 2 days, and then of course it can dump back down because of some sort of corporate action or some news or something, where AMC decides to issue ape. Okay, boom, shorts are fucked, and the news comes out, it goes up, and then of course by the end of the week, market maker makes a lot of money because a lot of people went and YOLO'd on calls. So this pertains to none of that stuff. You know, this like, I know some of you are out there probably like, I figured it out. No, that would be a wrecking strategy to wreck your portfolio and your life savings. So what again the trader would do is wait until it on a healthy price action like this movement to move above the 200-day moving average and possibly be right there around the sevens and the upper sixes, the early sevens, and that's when they initiate a position, because it's not about particularly picking the bottom. If you see this, see, here's the problem with, and this is one of my issues that I have with people who claim to be gurus in the trading game and all that stuff, whilst really they don't know much. If somebody is coming in as a day trader and you get in right here, forget AMC. This is not about MOAS talk. This is just another stock that you're looking at this chart. Forget that it's AMC's chart, okay? It's just another stock's chart. And you see here, this was clearly the 377 range, $3.77 was our bottom in this case. So a day trader would jump in and say, oh yeah, boom, these were all newbies. And because they're trying to time the bottom. Well, guess what? People timed the bottom here and they got screwed on the $6 range. People timed the bottom here at 480 and they got crucified. They timed the bottom here at 377, but guess what? That happened back in the end of 2022, early 2021. So it's been over 6 months, 7 months where these guys have been holding. Yes, they're in the green from since that point, but look how long they've clearly not made so much money. That's again if they're day traders. Again, forget that this is AMC's chart. What if it was a different chart? So timing the bottom is constantly a loser's game, in my humble opinion. That's where you play as a loser, because in those 7 months right here, even if you successfully timed the 377 as a bottom, God knows if we will also have another bottom, by the way, like lower than that, which will further prove my point. But even if this was the so-called bottom before we launch, this person here as a day trader waited 7 months for that move. Guess what? That money has been frozen for 7 months. That's no profitable day trader, you know. And any day trader out there will, if they know what they're doing, they will re-echo what I just exactly said, and they will totally go with that. So that's why it's all about. It's okay if you pay a few extra dollars on per share on a position that you know is in the process of maximum within 2-3 months be somewhere either at the top or maybe even recent once it confirms a change of trend and be above the 200-day moving average to maybe perhaps make more profits and not be frozen, freezing your money for such a long amount of time, not knowing what the hell is going to happen. And if you get caught here, for example, people call, I remember, you guys remember these, call me out if you don't remember. Remember after June 2021, when the price came down to the 40s and everybody was like, oh shit, you're lucky, jump in, it's about to spring right back up. GME did this. And then it jumped to the 30s. And I remember the whole community at the time was like, oh my God, I can't believe, thank you, Kenny G. You made my dreams come true. And guess what? It went down to the 20s. And then there was another amount of people that were saying, oh my God, you're tightening that spring a lot tighter, and it's going to be like a slingshot effect and it's going to fly. Then it dropped to the teens and people were losing their mind like this is the bottom. And guess what? The bottom was not the bottom until, or was the bottom until the next bottom. That rhymed. So again, this was just all about confirming to all of you guys as a family in here, giving you some tips on for the future to make and maximize your portfolios to the upside in much more efficient manners so that you know what to do, MOAS or no MOAS related. These hopefully are great tips for all of you guys. So hopefully that made sense, because I'll almost my throat is almost about to get itched. Whew. Yaka Frida. So AB, the trend is your friend? Indeed, my friend. Indeed. Indeed. Uh, 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 uh. Food dog. All right, family. Do we have any questions in the house before I let you guys go so you could get to catch up on that case tomorrow? You know, we got a case to check up and a bunch of people to hear. Yaka Frida, I would hit that bottom. Hell yeah. Trevor, thanks, AB. Drinking Ice Mountain, you in Ohio? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Cincy, Ohio. Cincy, Ohio. The Midwest. Sweet home Alabama. My cat got stuck in Louisiana. Which comedian said that? I said this. Hell yeah. Shirley's going on a timing out tirade. What a way. What a way to go out on the stream, right? Come on, people. Show me some questions if you have any. You are Trevor's outside of Cleveland. Oh, the land. The land. I have so many friends in Cleveland, my friend. So many friends that are out in Cleveland that used to even attend Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati, and they're all out of Cleveland. Most of them went back to Cleveland to live with their families, obviously, or to go back to where they came from. Um, but I don't know. Are you a big time LeBron fan? Shame on you, Ice Mountain. You should be a proud sponsor of this stream, but you're not right now. Until you do, I'll leave the door open. Well, let's see. Yaka Frida. AB, you are very knowledgeable, sir. Not even, brother. Thank you for the kind gesture and the beautiful words. You humble me down for sure. You and a bunch of the other family, as you can see, I get shy from that kind of stuff. I don't like to be, well, it's not that I don't like to be complimented, but I don't, I don't know. See, it's a little dot in the ocean of your knowledge, sir. So hopefully, you got my point with that statement. I only know just a little bit from what I've learned, and hopefully everybody in the family can walk away from this. I always feel like, and I always say this: if you're not, if I'm in somewhere, and whatever it is that I'm involved in, if they're not walking away with something that they know differently from me, or something new, they learned something, and vice versa, I learned something new from everyone else, then what's the point of doing it? What's the ideology? Because at the end of the day, um, wealth is knowledge, and we all got to be seeking it. And the day that call it and say that I have think that I know it all now is the exact day that you actually, not physically but mentally, die, and it won't be even long before you follow up with that with the rest. So always seek to know more, and I'm more than happy to hear this and see this, that I you know taught anybody anything, or somebody says something beautiful like that to me, because it makes my night and it makes my day for sure. WKRPs in Cincinnati. WCPO. uh, Alice, pleasant dreams. Blessings to you and your family. Well, likewise to you as well. Thank you so much, my friend. Uh, Foo Shirley's gonna spank us. Make sure you put that video up, guys. Uh, uh, let's see. Tater Tot. The tot man is in the house. How are you, my friend? Well, nice of you to be here. You probably was in the background and just put this. Whether you were in the background or you were here with us all night, welcome, my friend. It's nice to see you before we get out of here. And I'll go ahead and finalize with this. 1796 Patriot, thank you, AB. Great stream. Well, thank you so much. It wouldn't have been great without you, 1796 Patriot, and everyone else that had a lot or part in this wonderful stream. As always, you guys are the best family, as I always say, that anyone could ever freaking ask for. You guys rock. You guys are awesome. And you all are going to be filthy rich, and you just don't know it yet. You might think it, but you would know it really soon. I hope, and I pray from the bottom of my heart to the Almighty to make that become a reality. So thank you so much. Tomorrow, I'll see you guys in the trenches. Who knows? We might go live throughout the day. I can't, of course, go live and on the recording and listen to it because that's illegal. You will no longer see AB. Our journey will come to an end. However, we will report maybe throughout the night or something. Who knows? I might go on with Brother Mike owning the float again, um, and we'll see how it's like. Do you guys like, before I leave? Do you guys like owning the float? Do you guys like Mike? Am I the issue or is it him? I don't think there's any issues. But if you guys would love to see more of obviously me and brother Mike owning the float, please throw some thumbs up. Show me the support. I know that I want to, and I want to see it, and I want to hear it from you guys. I want him to see this in the background to see that you guys also love what brother Mike has to offer. And again, he's the man, the myth, the legend. And on that note, brothers and sisters, good night. Thank you for tuning in. Much love, AB Investments.